Good morning and welcome to the big story here on Business Day Television Breakfast Show. I am Destiny Momoh. Nigeria's security landscape continues to evolve from insurgency in the northeast to banditry, oil theft, and rising cases of kidnapping across the country. Amid these challenges, President Bola Tinubu has appointed new service chiefs, a move many hope will mark a new era for Nigeria's defense and even internal security. But then again, what does this change truly mean for strategy, coordination, and results on the ground? And how can these new leaders win public trust and even deliver real impact? And now joining us this morning is Chidi Omeje, publisher of Security Digest and respected voice on national defense and security matters. Good morning, Mr. Omeje.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's so good to have you. Now, Nigeria has seen several changes in the military hierarchy over the years. Now, what makes this particular transition significant, and what should Nigerians expect differently this time?
As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing, usual. Unusual with these new changes. It's even the right thing to do, because to start with, the SY, the ones who are going to be changed, have all spent more, 2 years, in fact, 2 years and 4 months. And the ideal thing from the harmonized terms of service of the military is actually 2 years for service chiefs. Because if you don't do that, you are going to disrupt the career progression of those behind you. So there's nothing, for me, it has no, this shouldn't be any uproar. It should not cause any uproar. I think the only thing is because it came at a time when there were these, rumors of coup and all that, hanging in the air, and people begin to link, 1 plus 2 and all those, begin to make some conspiracy theories and conjectures and all that. Otherwise, it's just a usual thing, the normal thing. If the commander-in-chief, in his wisdom, thinks that he, at this point, needs fresh initiatives, new ideas, new perspectives to the entire defense architecture, and then decides to bring in new people, it shouldn't be it shouldn't cause any uproar or any need for speculations and all that. We should not see it as one of those things that happens. That's the way I see it.
How crucial is interagency coordination among the service chiefs in improving intelligence sharing and even response time?
Look, if you remember, when this president came in, I think the first statement he made concerning security was that he wanted, in fact, he demanded seamless synergy between and among military, security, intelligence, and response agencies in the country. If you remember, that was when I think it was DSS and the EFCC that clashed or something. So he actually came out smoking and said, look, I won't tolerate, this sort of clashes. So all along, everybody knew that Mr. President actually wanted such collaboration. And indeed, it's the right way to go. You cannot fight these wars, these, issues we have now, these challenges we have now, in silos. The military must work as a tri-service institution, meaning that the ground troops and the air power must, collaborate, must work together so that they always help each other. Then, of course, they must have the need. They must have the partnership with police and the intelligence assets, talking about the DSS and all what. So the entire security architecture, the entire defense and security sector, there's a need for collaboration, for more synergy. That's the only way you can get results. If you work in silo, no service can do it alone. Not army alone, not air force alone, of course, certainly not police. So there's need for this robust collaboration, robust synergy between and among these agencies. That's the way we can. And look, it's not just on the field. There has to be this synergy, this collaboration with the image makers, with the spokespersons of these agencies, these military and security agencies, so that none of the agencies, none of these, of the services will speak, across purposes. We would like to see where they collaborate. We want to see they share information, share intelligence, share everything, so that they produce the desired result. That's the best way we can achieve result. Yeah.
Security challenges have actually persisted despite past reforms. Okay, now, so how can the new service chiefs build public confidence that this time will be different?
Good question. I think, the good thing is that some of these guys who have just been appointed are in the thick of things. For instance, the current chief of defense staff now rose from chief of army staff. Then the current chief of army staff once served as the theater commander, Operation Hadinka in Meduguri. So meaning that these guys are in the thick of things. They know exactly what the issues are. So they know that Nigerians, need and deserve some respite from the security challenges. They know that Nigerians deserve results. They know so that there's a need for them to come up with new caps, new initiatives, new perspectives that will produce results. Not just temporary result, but that will give us a sense that indeed there will be changes. But I tell you something, if we want to stop, if we want to say you want to stop terrorism or banditry in Nigeria, it's not military that will do it. Military does not possess the magic wand with which to wave at them and they will vanish. In fact, let me tell you who possesses the magic wand. It is the political class, those who are in leadership. So it is good governance that that is the magic wand. Good governance it is that will eliminate the issues that give rise to the security challenges. What the military do is just to deal with the symptoms. But if you want to deal with the disease itself, they have to deal with the governance paradigm, so that resource allocation, issue of corruption, issue of appropriation of issues. There are so many issues that give rise to insecurity. So you got to deal with them at that level. But then the military who are on the field, who deal with the symptom.
You, sir. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll still be joined by our guests to still talk about, the new service chiefs that has been brought in by President Bola Tinubu. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the big story. We've been talking to Mr. Chidi Omeje, and he's been giving us, highlights of why President Bola Tinubu was able to bring a new service chief. Thank you for staying with us, Mr. Chidi.
Thank you. I'm here.
All right. I was going to ask you about cyber threats and technology-driven crime, but before I do that, do you think that bringing in the new service chief at this time was born out of rumors making the rounds that alleged coup plots was happening and all of that one?
Like I said earlier on, I mean, you have to be fair to Nigerians. What they say that the witch cried last night and the child died in the morning. Nigerians were, taken aback when the coup rumors happened. But then the defense headquarters denied it flatly. The federal government never came up to, confirm or deny it. But, all of a sudden, there was this change. So Nigerians are actually very, very right if they decide to link the current development with the rumors. So, I don't know. I can't confirm it. Of course, that coup plotting is a very secretive business. So I don't have the information. You don't have the information. So and nobody gets more information than the commander in chief. So if he decides to change it, I mean, he's the one who can give us the true position if there's any link. For us as Nigerians, we can only but speculate on and make conjectures.
So true, Mr. Chidi. Okay, then, so with the rise of cyber threats and technology-driven crime, how well positioned is Nigeria's security apparatus to adapt to modern warfare and even digital intelligence?
Look, I tell you something. Our security agencies are actually very, very well positioned to do that. In order to go to Nigerian Police Cybercrime Center, and then of course the Cyber Warfare Center, Nigerian Army, and other. They have the equipment, but I think that there always had to be need for more collaborations within these agencies, and then of course with the international community, because cyber crimes mostly, is beyond border. It goes beyond border, so that is where it is always important to have collaborations, not just within the country but outside. They must build robust, collaborations with international agencies to governments to be able to track down this, because cyber crimes are very potent, very dangerous thing. It has the potential, the capacity to deal with the financial system, the capacity to disrupt many things. So it's a very big threat, and I want to believe that we have all it takes to deal with it if we put our minds to it. Yeah.
So now there's often tension between military operations and civilian rights, especially in conflict zones. How can the new leadership strike the right balance on this?
Like I said, the new guys, in the saddle now, I didn't come from the TA. They have been in the system. They understand the importance of civil-military relations. They know that they can't get the best of their operations if they don't have robust relationship with the communities where they deploy, or even the people, the civilian population. There's always need to develop and strengthen civil-military relations, even with the media in our own constituency. Because the whole gamut of civil military relations is something that they get to explore. There's an aspect of it that we call community relations. And community relations approach is where you deliberately and intentionally cultivate the minds of the community to, especially where the troops are deployed, to be part of the whole effort. They will give you information if you deal with them well. If you develop that relationship with them, they will give you and of course, more importantly, they will make sure they don't spy on you on the troop position or troop movement. So these are all the things that I'm sure that the current service chiefs, they know at the tip of their fingers, because they have been in the system. So civil relations is very, very important. In fact, it's at the core of military operations, because if you don't get it right, then you have you got to contend with the community, a hostile community, or a community that will sabotage your efforts. So it's very important that they develop that relationship.
So before I ask your advice for the new service chief, how much political will does the commander in chief need to actually give the service chiefs full operational autonomy?
You need all the political will you can muster. I mean, without political will, nothing can happen. Look, there are times people, some of us who have been in this defense report, you get to hear people say, some troops will say, or rather in the media, that certain troops will be somewhere to carry out an operation, and they will be asked to withhold fire or to retreat. That's because there's no political will. If you have political will to stamp your feet on certain decisions, there are things that. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that the commander-in-chief need all the political will he can muster to give the guys the necessary latitude to deal with the situation. I think if I were to advise the president, I would say that, look, this is the time to finally put to rest this menace of banditry. Especially because banditry can be stopped, but can easily be stopped. But terrorism that has to do with ideological, business of the mind, that's much more difficult to rip out. But the banditry is something I know is more of economic plunderers who you can deal with, more easier than dealing with ideological based. Yeah.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Chidi Omeje, publisher of Security Digest, for sharing these insights. You've really, made us to see a lot of, hope in all of this. Thank you so much, and have a very good day ahead. And here's where we draw the curtain and on the big story this morning. Thank you for staying with us. Up next is social listening. Stay with us.